We are live, ladies and gentlemen, here today on NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup. We are getting ready for the Subway 400 at Rockingham, the North Carolina Speedway here today. And this is going to be a fun one. This is our version of a pre-race to the NASCAR Cup Series race. We do these every week with the Cup Series live stream before an actual Cup Series race. But here today, it's a little bit different. Of course, it's a lot different racetrack. Pretty much races like a short track, and obviously it is no longer on the schedule today. But in the 2004 season, in which what this game takes place as for our Nextel Cup Series season, we are racing here, and we should have a lot of fun over the next couple of hours, taking you to the start time of our next stream today, which will be a live, realistic, reaction / realistic commentary of the actual Cup race later today, so definitely tune in for that one. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. Hit that bell notification button so you don't miss another stream or upload, and we are about to get into this one. Tyler Burbeck, Canadian Bacon, welcome to the stream. You should play his 1999-2001 Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, I don't have any game older than NASCAR Thunder 2004, but yes, we will get into this race. Also, with the fantasy, yes, I'm currently in the process of having this video upload. I will have to pause the stream at some sort of time to get my thumbnail ready to go, but I have to wait for the video to process past 50% before I can go onto my YouTube studio and upload my thumbnail, which I have it ready to go. I just have to do it, so I literally only have to pause it for like 30 seconds at some point during the stream, so I'll have to keep an eye out on that as well. So I'll make sure I get the chat on my phone real quick before we start this. The NASCAR race starts later today. But yes, welcome to the stream, everybody. All right. So definitely take a look at that predictions video when it uploads as well before the start of today's race. Jimmie Johnson on the pole. Green flag in the air. Scott Riggs qualified second as well. Maybe you have to look out for him today. Johnson slides the tires into turns 1 and 2 on the initial start. And as they get up to speed, it'll be Jimmie Johnson barely hanging on to the lead. His teammate Jeff Gordon, who started third, almost got underneath him. And it looks like Jimmy's going to come off of turn 4 and lead lap 1 here today at the Rock. This is a 400-mile, 393-lap race. This racetrack just barely over a mile in length. Had a stellar Busch Series race here on Thursday night. We ran the trucks at Atlanta last night on NASCAR 05. Bobby Labonte with a good run early on. Up to second place, getting around Jeff Gordon off turn 4 that time. Johnson really loose into turns 1 and 2 as he tries to hang on to his race car. Looks like Brian Vickers in the 25 might have just jumped to second place. Another fellow Hendrick Chevrolet. Labonte trying to cross him back over into turns 3 and 4 again. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Justin Sozio, welcome to the stream as well. So that hard battling going on for second place right now. Jimmy slowly pulling away, about a half a second lead already. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream also. Yeah, Ty Gibbs winning that Xfinity race yesterday. Boy, that was something. Well, now that Bobby Labonte isn't battling for position anymore, he is slowly charging on the race leader. Scott Riggs is trying to get back to third place as well. I think him qualifying second, starting on the outside, definitely hurt him out of the gate. Jeff Gordon still battling back there for third. But yes, Bobby Labonte slowly closing in on Jimmie Johnson. Johnson had a very good Daytona 500. He led 48 laps in the race, but until the very end, when his strategy game did not go into fruition, and he ended up actually finishing a lap down outside the top 30 because of it. Looking for a bounce-back performance today. Remember, a 26 race regular season. In the top 10 will make the playoffs. Well, at this time it was the Chase, not known as the playoffs yet, but it is a playoff format. And then the points will reset with those top 10 for the final 10 races of the season. So Jimmy off to a rough start here. Going to need a good performance here today, and already leading laps after qualifying on the pole is a good start. Clean air definitely helping Johnson right now. We kind of saw that in the Busch race with Kevin Harvick when he was out in front. His car seemed to handle a little bit better than when he was back in traffic. We had a lot of cautions in that Busch Series race in the first half. The scheduled distance was 197 laps. We had 5 cautions in the first 80 laps of the race, and they were all because of spins off the exit of a corner. Especially off of turn 4. We had 4 cautions in the truck race at Atlanta last night as well. So gonna have to be very careful tiptoeing around this racetrack. A little more worn out surfaces as well. This group of cars starting to slowly close in on Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy's got a little bit looser of a setup right now as well. Very minimal practice in today's race. Pretty much just had the qualifying to work off of. Hooking that white line beautifully, though. When he is, gaps Bobby just a little bit down the back straightaway. Jeff Gordon's in 3rd. Ryan Newman is cycled up to 4th place. And it looks like Dale Jr. might be in 5th, but it's hard to tell exactly right now. Johnson's led the first 12 laps. Ooh, he washes up the track, overdrives turns 1 and 2 just a little bit. Cuts back down the center of the corner, though. And Bobby Labonte is right there, and he wants to take the race lead. That number 18 Interstate Battery Chevrolet for Joe Gibbs Racing. Jeff Gordon going for 2nd place as he gets to the inside into turn 3. Underneath Bobby Labonte, and Gordon makes very, very quick work of Bobby. Not much of a battle there as Jeff Gordon into 2nd place, and again, Johnson slides the tires into turn 1. The car's a little on the loose side, and he seems to be just stepping a little bit over the edge into turn 1, but not drastically enough to wreck the race car at least. Might have to start backing these corners up a little bit more, especially as the tires wear on. Not sure exactly how far the fuel run's going to be today as well. Looked like in the Busch Series, these guys were able to go about 80 laps on fuel. We'll have to see if that will be the case here today. Now, granted, again, that was with a lot of cautions in that race as well. Never actually saw a full fuel run. We saw the green flag pit stops be split in half to the end of the race from when they took them. But Gordon has put the pressure on Jimmy Johnson right now. And Johnson dives it in a little too early. He's doing everything he can to hold on to the lead for the moment. Johnson's kept it clean so far. Hasn't hit the wall yet. Never hit anybody on the initial start. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon. And now Gordon gets tight up the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. So I'm getting right up behind his teammate Jimmy Johnson off of turn 4, and he wasn't able to get underneath him. In fact, Gordon's car got tight because of it. Trapped in that dirty air, and Bobby Labonte able to sling right back around him. And Gordon looking to maybe make a crossover into turn 3. So Labonte cleared Gordon off turn 2. Gordon back to the inside of Bobby Labonte going into turns 3 and 4. And Gordon is now clear off of turn 4. Helps Johnson give himself a couple car length lead again, and Ryan Newman closes in on 2nd and 3rd place. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Natalie Decker crashed out yesterday. Yeah, I didn't see the full results. I saw most of the top 10, and I saw AJ get into an incident earlier in the race with Cindric. I wasn't home soon enough to see that part of it, unfortunately, but that was definitely one of the bigger key moments in the race, is that battle at the end of stage 1. Obviously ended AJ's day and ended up finishing outside the top 30. I think he was 13 laps down by the finish of the race, but very unfortunate. It was his own doing, though, fortunately. Gordon's got the pressure on Johnson again into turn 1. Gordon trying to back up the corner a little bit, and so did Johnson. That allows Jimmy to actually win the battle back to the gas as well. So Gordon, despite trying to back up turn 1, Jimmy kind of driving out of his rear view, saw and anticipated he was going to do that. Johnson did the same thing. Jimmy showing early why he is an eventual 7-time champ. Of course, our Chase for 8 series taking a role reversal, as we're going to try to win him a championship before his actual first title, which was in 2006, because again, this takes place in the 2004 season. We're doing this because you guys, the fans, before our Budweiser shootout middle of last week, not this prior week, but the week before, voted for me to drive as Jimmy Johnson for this NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 season. Bobby Labonte got around Gordon again, but again, Jeff Gordon's just so good. Bobby cannot hang on once he gets around Jeff. Jeff crosses him back over in 3 and 4, exactly what happened earlier in the race as well. And what we saw in the Busch Series race is similar to what we're seeing early on today, where nobody's just able to pull ahead for whatever reason. Now, granted, Jimmy Johnson running right now is obviously ahead of Jeff Gordon. A couple of these Hendrick cars look really fast. I think I see Matt Kenseth back there in 6th place, trying to close in on these guys battling. Ryan Newman got around Bobby Labonte for 3rd. Bobby trying to cross him back over. Jimmy definitely trying to keep this car about as steady as he possibly can. Gordon to the outside, off turn 2, had a big run. Still on the high side into 3 and 4, not going to work. First time we saw somebody get alongside Jimmy Johnson today. Gordon coming again on the top. Johnson blocks him down the straightaway. Gordon trying to cut to the inside. Jimmy is there. So these guys battling clean, but battling hard for the lead early on. Jimmy slides the tires a little bit. Jeff Gordon gets really tight on entry into turn 3. Also remember, this is the final race ever at Rockingham. At least when it took place on the NASCAR schedule for the second race of the season in 2004. It was the last ever Cup Series event at Rockingham. The Truck Series ended up racing here later down the line for a one-off show, but never returned. Matt Kenseth won that race over rookie Casey Kane by inches, a photo finish at the line. So maybe we'll see a photo finish here today as well. I guess that proved why we had such a good race and a great finish in our Busch Series race earlier in the week. Making pass on the high side. It's definitely possible to make a pass on the top. We saw it happen in the Busch Series race. Dale Jr. was able to pull off the move quite often. But I think Jimmy might have a stronger car in this Cup race compared to what Kevin Harvick had in the Busch race. But keep an eye on that 17 of Matt Kenseth. He won this race, trying to repeat history with this video game. Johnson still led every lap, and Gordon's got to run to the top into turns 1 and 2. Jimmy holds him off, and Gordon in the wall off turn 2. Jeff Gordon overran turns 1 and 2 just a little bit. Gordon not showing enough patience right now and just slightly overdriving the car. 4-time champ trying to get around Johnson. The controller get any better? I think I'm getting used to it, honestly, with how good I ran, holding my line in the truck series last night. We had a lot of drivers pinching us off, which is why we made a lot of contact, so it wasn't my fault or the controller's fault, really. Except for that one instance late in the race was, pretty much the only time I made a mistake myself, and that was when we turned ourselves into the outside wall, battling for the lead with Travis Quaffle. Unfortunately, that led to Bill Lester going on to win the race because of it. Gordon again gets really tight, overdriving it on the outside in turns 3 and 4. Matt Kenseth going to go for second place. Johnson has led every lap so far, but not by much. I mean, he hasn't had more than about a half a second lead. Kenseth has cleared Jeff Gordon off turn 2 for second. I'm becoming more and more comfortable with this controller, though, yes. Oh! I really hope the game paused. We lost. Hopefully the stream's still going. Hang on. My screen went to black. I had to plug my laptop in. I thought I had it plugged in already. That was a close... I really hope the game paused, otherwise we might have just wrecked out of the race. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. That definitely scared me. Now I gotta wait for my TV to boot back up again. Okay, it paused, but we're in the center of a corner. Man, that was very scary. Now I gotta unpause it and hope I don't wreck. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely tricky. Oh, and there is a crash. Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson off turn 4. This is because I had to pause it. That was exactly because I had to pause it. And then I kind of fat-fingered the replay, but we saw what happened. First caution of the race today. Really nobody's wrongdoing. Johnson was loose off turn 4, but it was only because I had to pause it in the middle of the corner because my TV went to black there for a second. Poor Matt Kenseth. Didn't look like he had too much damage at least and still got to hold his spot in second place. Johnson still led every lap. I believe they might have come to pit road under that caution. So there is a chance that they have fresher tires right now. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Gordon walks way up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. That's a bummer to see a caution come out because of that, but they had to throw it. Kenseth was sideways. It sucks to pick up damage, too, because of that. Oh, man, and Johnson is not in great shape right now as that apron about turned him sideways on the front stretch. Gordon looks low now. I'm not sure how to check the damage on this game. Johnson goes a little wide in turns 3 and 4. Jeff Gordon to the lead. Little bit of contact. Both drivers are going hard into turn 1. Oh, and Johnson just about turned his teammate. He tried to fall in line behind him, and he wasn't clear. He clips Jeff Gordon. Gordon's in the wall in turns 1 and 2. Elliott Sadler going for the lead, and Sadler gets into the side of the 48. Sadler goes around. Multiple cars pile in from behind. Caution's out again. Sadler overdrove the corner right into Jimmy Johnson, backs it down the track into Brian Vickers. It looked like Tony Stewart was involved. Or sorry, no, that was Casey Kane on the bottom who was involved. Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch. Sadler overdrives turn 3. Car's still frozen? Okay. Okay, I need to figure out what's going on then with OBS. I wonder if OBS crashed when that happened. The camera's alright, it looks like, but yeah, I don't know why that paused. Give me 1 second. Figure this out. So yeah, caution came out. Elliott Sadler overran the corner. I'll get the camera up. Just give me a second. Nope, that didn't work. Not that. There we go. We don't want it that big, though. Alright, I think that's better. There we go. Is everything good? I think we're good. Yeah, my bad. I didn't even see that it was paused still. That was weird that OBS just kind of paused on me, but I didn't want to end the stream. So it looked like we didn't have to. Everything is fixed. We are ready to go back to racing here. So caution has flown twice now. Green flag is about to wave. Johnson's still in the lead. Elliott Sadler overran turn 3, got underneath Johnson, and he just kind of lost control and spun out, hit the wall, and a couple other cars piled in. It wasn't a very, very vicious accident, but it was an accident nonetheless. Multiple cars involved. Elliott Sadler obviously lost a couple spots. How about that restart by Dale Earnhardt Jr. jumping to second, getting around Ryan Newman in the 12. I think everybody's on fresher tires, except for the race leader, Jimmy Johnson, who has still somehow... Well, he hasn't led every lap today. I guess Jeff Gordon led 1 lap on the restart before contact with the 48. So Jimmy has not led every lap, but he has led all but 1 so far. Ryan Newman squeezes underneath Dale Jr., trying to get him back in turns 1 and 2. Not sure how much further Johnson can go. And now Newman sends it deep into the corner. Lifted a little bit extra, though. He knew that wasn't going to work. He probably saw Elliott Sadler try that move earlier, and it didn't work out for Sadler. So fuel's down to half. We've had 2 cautions. So these guys can probably go about 100 laps on fuel. It'll likely be a 3-stop race today. 3 to 4 pit stops. Assuming that a large majority of the field is already pitted, they'll probably still have to make 3 more anyway. Yeah, the stream should be good to go now. My bad on that. I didn't realize OBS paused when my screen went black. Oh, boy. Johnson is really loose and hard. Into the back of Johnson goes Ryan Newman. Caution will wave. Jimmy got really elusive when he came up the track. There was nowhere for Newman to go. He ran right into the back of him. Matt Kenseth goes around. Casey Mears is involved. Heavy damage to the back of the 48. Johnson's going to have to come to pit road and repair that damage. So already 3 cautions. Jimmy's very fortunate that did not wreck him out of the race, but he's got very heavy damage. And he'll be coming to pit road now to repair the car. Well, we mentioned the Busch Series race was caution-filled at the beginning, and I'm sure we could say the same for the early going of this race today at Rockingham with the Cup cars. Green flag is back in the air once again at lap 56. Ryan Newman is the new leader. And Johnson will have to come from the back. Everybody on the lead lap and on the track still. We haven't seen any AI spins themselves outside of, contact, like we saw in the Busch Series race where we just saw guys losing control. This guy's obviously more experienced too. That might come into play. A lot of the Busch Series regulars, but now Jimmy Johnson has about 10 to 15 lap green flag fresher tires. Obviously a faster car compared to most of those drivers at the rear of the field. Seen some checkups on restarts really in any series, on any racetrack we've gone to so far in this game. So you got to take that into consideration as well. But Johnson's got to be really patient coming through the field. He's going to be flying. He's got to assume that not everybody's going to give him a break necessarily, trying to get through there. Johnson repaired most of the damage, or I should say his crew repaired most of the damage to his back bumper, but there's still a little bit. See the separation between the actual bumper itself and the deck lid. Just kind of drilled the back of Jason Kennedy there. Off turn 4. Actually helped Kennedy out somewhat because he was able to make it past. Johnson's still trying to recover loose into 1. He is gaining spots nevertheless. Nearly 3 wide at Rockingham off turn 2 towards the back of the pack. Johnson deep into turn 1, 3 wide. Underneath Ward Burton. Barely squeezed in there, and now contact. Ward Burton got into the wall. A little contact for somebody else. Now Johnson slides into turn 3, unfortunately, and accidentally moving his teammate Terry Labonte out of the way. Hard not to make contact on a very tight racetrack. Again, this is pretty much a short track. Just over a mile in length, but the way it races, it is extremely like a short track. Again, very tight from the wall down to the apron, but a lot of banking. .142 car scrapes the wall off turn 2 as well. Trying to lift a little bit more and give Jimmy a little bit of space. So we kind of saw with Harvick in the Busch Series race, our driver and the one who actually won the race on Thursday night, seemed like his kryptonite corner was actually in turns 3 and 4. Or I should say the other way around, where he was good in 3 and 4 and his kryptonite corner was in turns 1 and 2. It's the other way around here for Johnson today. It seems like turns 1 and 2, he struggles a little bit more, especially after the exit of turn 2. In turns 3 and 4, he rolls through pretty well. Just going to get tight into turn 1, 3 wide. Underneath Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin, and the pass made by Johnson. Just ripping around these guys with fresh tires. Dale Jr. is in the race lead now. Jr. again came close to winning, led a lot of laps in our Busch Series race the other day. We're hanging on the right rear of Johnson. Jimmy up to 17th, right behind the Biff. A little sideways into the corner. Hangs on to it. Pause it for a quick moment down the front stretch. I don't think my chat's up. No, it is. Okay. Never mind. Thought my chat was down. Johnson will get around Biffle right on the back bumper of Rusty Wall. Deep dive again. Jimmy really good in 3 and 4. Right behind Jeff Burton. Battle for 14th. Might not be much of a battle. Jimmy is coming through this field. He's still about 3.5 seconds off the lead. But that lead keeps changing hands. Nobody's able to pull away. Matt Kenseth now leads this race after getting around Dale Jr. So again, really similar to the Busch race on Thursday, where just nobody is able to pull away. It's not like there's a lot of drafting help at this racetrack. It's just very strange that that's the case. I could maybe see, even if it was a bigger intermediate track like Michigan or California, maybe even Indianapolis or Pocono, where the leader just can't get away, but a short track, but even at points where there's not a lot of lap traffic, amazing how equal everybody is. Ty Gibbs looks really young. He definitely does not look 18. He looks younger than 18. Like 18's a young age anyway, but his voice isn't very deep either. Like his voice like makes me, between his voice, you know, him looking young, I think he's a little shorter too. Ooh, contact between Johnson and Jeff Burton. But yeah, between like all those contributing factors, he just like, he definitely seemed younger than 18. Kick and drive, though, that's for sure. Oh, boy. Jimmy really trying to hang on to that car. Nearly 3 wide. Contact between Casey Mears and Kurt Busch allowed Johnson to hold clear off turn 2, and Jimmy's back to the top 10. Ravish, welcome to the stream. Ty Gibbs 2022 champ. They're not going to move Denny Hamlin out. They already signed Hamlin through 2022 anyway. At least it's multiple years, so that means at least 2022 and 2023. And Truex is in the car until at least 2022 to the end of 2022 season, so that's only a 1-year deal. Caution's out again. And the field will check up. This is already our 4th caution of the race, and we'll take a look at what it was. Kyle Petty loses control. He nearly saved it. Everybody missed him to the inside, but it looked like he tapped the left front with the wall. So that crash happens in turns 1 and 2. That was on entry into turn 1 where he spun out right there. Johnson's going to hit pit road. Everybody else stays out. Jimmy will take 4 tires and go off strategy. Why not? So nice leisurely time on pit road for Jimmy Johnson, but no worries at all. He was the only driver to come down to pit road anyway. Actually, Kyle Petty came into the pits as well, but Petty spun and had a little bit of damage. So 4 cautions in the first 80 laps of the race here at Rockingham, and that was the first. We saw somebody's car just step out on him without contact. It is obviously a caution nevertheless. And that was on entry into a corner. Again, in the Busch Series, it seemed like most of the spins were on corner exit. But for Kyle Petty, that time was on corner entry into turn 1. Just overcooked it a little too much. So Jimmy Johnson's got really fresh tires right now. And coming from the back. Definitely looking to take advantage. Most of the field pitted under that first caution back at lap 36. Johnson seems really loose at the beginning of this run as well. And a lot of it could be back in the fact that he's back in traffic and not up at the front of the field like he was earlier. Whoa, boy. Johnson was coming up so he can hit his marks into turn 1 right as Sprague was... Sorry, that's Ward Burton in the 0 now. Right as Ward Burton was coming down the racetrack, they almost made contact. Good wherewithal by both drivers to keep from making contact. Johnson just slammed into the back of Jeff Green, but it actually helps Green get around the 142 car. 142 trying to go up the middle, 3 wide between Johnson and Green as he tries to get him back. Looks like he'll get back around Jeff Green, and Johnson passes both of them. Oh, Michael Waltrip. Right in the back of Derek Cope. Waltrip shot to the inside when he saw that opening there, and now Cope gets weeded out of the way by Johnson as well. In the wall off turn 2, trying to hang on to his race car. He is all over the place. Car scrambled by to the inside. Difficulties of being back in traffic, especially on these restarts. Jimmy's just kind of stuck on the outside right now. Derek Cope back to his inside in the 50. Jimmy cannot keep his car off the wall when running close to it, especially off the exit of these corners. He's getting freight train now, and he's stuck behind the 142 despite being on fresher tires. Cars keep just cycling underneath, and finally able to get back down to the bottom as he lets out of the gas a little early, lets Earl Hall go. Found the opening in front of Michael Waltrip. Go getting 22. Yeah, Waltrip moved him, and then Johnson moved him. Jimmy didn't move him intentionally. He did get really tight, though. How can you not get tight on this narrow of a racetrack and this close of racing? Rockingham put on some good races. It was definitely a shame to see that track go in the mid-2000s. Jimmy in the wall into turn 1. Remember how clean of a race Johnson had from the start, and then once my TV went black and we had to readjust that, I mean, that alone has just flipped this race up on its side. We've had 4 cautions since. And again, that was at lap 36. Jimmy's definitely struggled with the handling of his car after damage from behind from Ryan Newman in an earlier accident. So we may have to tighten this race car up under another pit stop. No tire limit, like we have in the truck in the Busch Series. Jimmy going off strategy. It didn't work at Daytona in the 500. We'll see if it'll work here. Obviously, he's going with the strategy much earlier in the 500. He tried to do it with less than 80 laps to go under a caution at 79 laps to go. And the caution looked like there's a little bit of smoke, like somebody might have made contact and maybe brushed the wall in turns 3 and 4 the last lap. But Johnson has made his way through about half the field. Works on Scott Wimmer right now for 25th. His teammate Terry Labonte right in front of him as well. Jonathan Rogers, welcome to the stream. Again, 8 people watching right now. Remember, tune in. Oh, boy. Johnson in the back of his teammate, Labonte. Michael Waltrip's kind of followed him right through these cars. Michael was struggling on the restart, but just kind of following the 48 car. Jimmy's got the fresher tires. Why not? So the 143 wiggle into turn 1. But again, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, we will have another live stream. And it will be of a full race, but it will be on the Daytona Road Course. The actual race, of course, that's going on today for the Cup Series. I'll be doing a realistic broadcast throughout the course of that, from what I am seeing as a live reaction. So tune in for that one here today. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, if we continue to have success with it, I think I'll probably start doing it once a week. If I can't do it for a Cup race because I'm on the road or, watching it with somebody else or something like that, I'll try to make sure I do it with an Xfinity or truck race during the course of the weekend as well. Johnson sends it into 3. Flipped the apron to try and get around Ricky Rudd. It worked, though, because he had the fresher tires. Those cars are starting to pull away a lot more than what we saw at the beginning of the race, although we are still in the first 100 laps, getting very close to that 100 lap mark. The 4 cautions we've had today have kind of slowed this race pace down a little bit. Johnson making a pass on Brendan Gaughan for 17th, right behind Casey Mears, Jamie McMurray now, Dale Jarrett outside the top 10. A lot of cars stuck on the outside. Johnson sends it into turn 1, 3 wide, underneath Labonte and McMurray. Jimmy got loose, overdrove it. He tried to send it in there 3 wide, and he had such a big run down the front stretch, he wasn't going to pass that run up. Unfortunately, he probably should have anyway. Guess it didn't really matter too much. He lost the spots either way and kept the car clean either way. But maybe he would have lost less spots if he didn't try to send it in. He's trying to block with 77 of Brendan Gaughan right now, who is side by side with Dale Jarrett. Jarrett continues to move backwards outside the top 15. And again, Dale Jr. still the race leader. We saw him lead a lot of laps at Daytona in the Busch in the Cup Series. We saw it at Rockingham in the Busch Series. He led a lot of laps. He's come close. Maybe he can get a win here today. Paying too much attention to the chat. A little contact there between the 48 and the 97. Yeah, at Rockingham today. North Carolina Speedway. It is also in the title of the stream, might I add, but just throwing that out there. I swear, like, it's always somebody different, like every stream or every other stream is like, oh, where are we racing today? Oh, is this such and such? I'm like, yes, it's in the title of in the video. Usually not that blunt about it, but 9 times out of 10 it's in the title. Sometimes I'll have the name of the race up there if it's like shorter, so that way the title's not too long. Most of the time it's in the title. Johnson again to the inside of Kurt Busch. 4 position. Bobby Labonte looked really strong at the beginning. He's outside the top 10 now as well. Maybe on the restarts he's just kind of getting punted to the outside perhaps. Or found his way on the outside and kept losing ground. Johnson underneath Elliott Sadler. Oh, a little contact. That got the 38 of Sadler very, very loose. Elliott almost ended up in the wall. Kevin Harvick going to get around him in the 29 car as well. Murray got shot out of a cannon. Getting around Rusty Wallace. Now he's on the inside of Bobby Labonte. McMurray's having a great run today. What a run, speaking of which, off of turn 4 for Johnson. Gets around Bobby Labonte. He's on the inside of McMurray now. Remember, Jimmy does have about 30 lap fresher tires, and that is why he is charging through this field from the rear on the restart. And in about 20 to 30 laps himself has now reached himself up to the 8th position. But he's still a little less than 4 seconds off the leader, which is, again, Dale Jr. Tony Stewart thought about taking a 3 wide into turn 1. Brian Vickers, the rookie, also having a good run today in the top 5. Johnson trying to get underneath Kenseth, can't do it. Kenseth to the inside of Vickers. Johnson going to follow Matt. So Vickers starting to lose more spots. Bobby Labonte, Ryan Newman side by side inside the top 10. Tony Stewart charging forward. Tony's up to 3rd, it looks like. Another rookie, Casey Kane. So a couple of younger drivers up towards the front of the field. 2 rookies, Casey Kane and Vickers in the top 10, and McMurray was also in the top 10. Johnson gets around Kane as well now for 5th. Mentioned he finished 2nd at Rockingham in his rookie season by inches to Matt Kenseth. Kenseth around Stewart. Johnson going to follow Kenseth again, this time underneath the 20 car. Jimmy really loose into turn 3. Again, that back bumper damage from Ryan Newman on an earlier caution definitely is still causing Jimmy to get loose. You can see there is damage on the back of the race car. Not as much as what it was before he came to pit road to repair it under the caution. But it is still there and still affecting the handling. Ooh, Kenseth got loose getting into the corner. Jimmy couldn't check up behind him. Kenseth was loose on top of him, and then he had the 48 car right under his back bumper. A little contact, and Johnson's up to third. I am a little hungry. I didn't eat yet. I plan on eating before streams. Hopefully this one gets done in a reasonable time. Otherwise, I'll probably be eating at the start of the next stream. That's alright. It's a long race. I'm not going to go without just eating anything for like 6 hours just because I'm streaming. Ooh, Johnson in the wall. Pushing the car just a little too hard, trying to catch the top two. Although Junior has pulled away, Ryan Newman is still within a second of the race lead in second place. Remember, everybody else is going to have to come to pit road before Jimmy Johnson. Unless we get a caution again, which is very well possible. Nearly 40 laps into this green flag run. This is the longest green flag run we've had so far. So although Johnson has 30 lap pressure tires, it has taken him nearly 40 laps to get through the field. Shows you how tough it is to pass and how competitive the field is today. Yeah, live commentary of me eating during the... I'm going to make sure I don't do it when I'm actually doing the broadcast. You know, I'll probably do it when I'm answering your guys' questions like commercials or cautions, stage breaks, and stuff like that. Yeah, the only time under caution that I won't be, you know, all eyes on the chat only is going to be during pit stops, but that's pretty obvious. At least I thought. Ryan Newman actually isn't in second place. I think he was back in traffic. My bad on that one. Jeff Gordon's the second place car. From far away, it looked like it could have been a white car with these graphics too, but Gordon's still up towards the front of the field in second. So a lot of Chevys at the front of the field, 1, 2, 3, and then assuming Kenseth is the first Ford in fourth place still. Battle for second with the Hendrick Chevrolets. Gordon and Johnson. These guys were racing hard for the lead earlier. Pretty clean for the most part, though, so Jimmy is going to pay his respects. So look at Jimmy back up turn 3. Really beat Gordon in the center of the corner, and now gets under him off of turn 4. It's a great move by Johnson. He's still loose, though, into turn 1. Can he make the pass? It looks like he will. So Jimmy Johnson is up to second. Still giving plenty of room to Gordon. He had room to clear him, and now he does into 3 anyway. All eyes set on the race leader, Dale Jr. Johnson's got the fresher tires. He should be able to get there in no time. And lap traffic is coming up very soon for the first time today as well. Again, with the 4 cautions, we haven't had a long enough green flag run to catch lap traffic, but nearly 45 laps into this one. It's still a long time, though, especially around a short track. And it looks like our first driver's coming to pit road. Jeff Gordon from 3rd place comes into the pits that lap. So he's trying to short pit on Dale Jr. So here's the strategy call. Does Jimmy Johnson pit with the leaders, or does he try to just stay out, set himself apart with this strategy, give up maybe a little bit of time just to gain it back when he comes out of the pits again? I'm not sure. Junior's still on the racetrack and still leading. Johnson to his inside into turn 1. Jimmy got a little loose on the bottom and he lifted just to make sure he wasn't going to make contact with Dale Jr. Off turn 4, Dale Jr. again stays out. A lot of bottom open. Johnson trying to get a run into turn 1 this time once again, and he's going to get him this time. Jimmy Johnson to the lead for the 2nd time today at Rockingham. After leading about the first 40 laps of the race. I thought Junior might have came to pit road that time as soon as he got past for the lead, but he did not. Halfway on fuel for Johnson, so he can probably go another 40 to 50 laps. And Junior thought he was going to duck down that time, still hasn't. So Gordon has already pitted about 6 laps before Junior even has. Junior to the outside into turns 1 and 2. Trying to get around Johnson that way, and that's definitely not going to work with the old tires. Oh, maybe it is. Staying to the outside, crossing him over. Now down to the bottom goes Dale Jr. Not going to get Johnson that way, so Jr.'s still battling for the lead. This is costing him time on top of having older tires than Gordon right now. Junior underneath, contact off turn 4. Between the 48 and the 8 that time. Junior got a little tight. Trying to rush underneath on those old tires and get around Johnson, and he wasn't able to do it. Jimmy's going to be leading for a while if he does choose to stay out now. He's got about a 2nd lead on Dale Jr. Or as old of tires as Johnson has been on today. Dale Jr. coming into the pits now. So Gordon pitted about 10 laps before Dale Jr. I think Johnson is going to play the strategy. We've seen a lot of cautions early on today. If we get another one, and the time it takes for everybody who's on the lead lap still to pit before Jimmy hits pit road in about 40 to 50 laps, that's going to trap the field a lap down. Johnson can pit under caution and smooth sailing. He'll have at least a 1-lap lead. It might be 2 with how long this pit road is and how short of a racetrack it is. At least a 1-lap lead, if not 2. Wow. How out of shape Johnson got that time. Guess if he starts to have major handling problems too, he can just come to pit road then and make adjustments on the car as well. At this point, the race is kind of in his hands. He's far as what he wants to do with strategy. I believe Kyle Petty is still on the racetrack because, remember, he pitted under that last caution with Jimmy Johnson. That's why he has shown 19.5 seconds off the lead, assuming it is Kyle Petty. If not, we got some guys at the back of the lead lap who still have to pit. You really see that 48 car swaying back and forth, though, quite a bit right now. Greg Biffle's the first lap car that's actually catching up to Johnson right now. Those fresher tires. Jimmy really loose off turn 2. Biffle just gets around him easily on the outside. Jimmy was going to let him go anyway, but then got extremely loose and really had to get on the brakes down the back straightaway to keep that car from spinning out. This is going to help Jimmy lead a lot of laps and only get closer to maybe clinching the most laps led for later in the race and getting himself 10 bonus points. Remember, he was just 1 lap off from leading the most laps in the Daytona 500. By 1 lap, Dale Earnhardt Jr. beat him out to lead the most. Jr. led 49 that day, and Jimmy Johnson led 48. Michael Waltrip to the inside. Boy, he really crowded Johnson off the exit of turn 4. Jimmy gonna just let him go. Not gonna battle those guys. They're on fresher tires now. If it might be the eventual second place driver, that might be a different situation, but for right now, Johnson just trying to take it easy, still in the first half of today's race. We are approaching halfway, closer and closer. Johnson's fastest lap of the race so far is a 24.093. That last lap was a 24.366, so the tire wear is definitely crucial. That is for sure. It's costing him about 0.3 of a second a lap. That's only going to get worse as this run carries forward. Just see how much Johnson's sliding in the center of the corner. .4, almost a 24.5 that last lap. He's got a fair amount of clean air that's going to help at least. A lot better than 3 and 4 that time. Just has to start backing these corners up a little bit more, that's all. Hard to tell who that is closing in on Johnson from behind right now. Might be Scott Riggs in the 10. Riggs qualified second, had a good qualifying lap, but dropped back immediately outside the top 10 at the start of the race. It might not be him who's behind Johnson. Again, it's really tough to tell with these graphics. Yeah, it is Scott Riggs. Oh man, Riggs right into the driver's side door of Johnson off turn 4. We saw that happen earlier with Dale Jr. when he just kind of got tight off turn 4 trying to get underneath Jimmy Johnson. That time it was a lap car, though, so that's got to frustrate Jimmy, and he was trying to let him go, but Riggs could not handle and keep control of his race car. So Riggs trying to run him back down again. In the wall. He's got Riggs to the top. Into turns 3 and 4. Jimmy slides off 4, just trying to stay in front of Riggs. He's really just trying to back it down. He's trying to get out of everybody's way and keep control of his car, and he's having a handful with it right now. He's going to have to be very, very careful. Bonnie got tight into turn 3. Johnson just sends it off in there. Bonnie looks like he might lose a spot. I believe that's Robbie Gordon in the 31 car underneath him. Jimmy is working that race car. He's got about a tank of fuel left. Maybe another 20 to 25 laps he can go. Again, don't forget Kyle Petty's still on the racetrack as well. Johnson's just sliding around too much as he scrapes the wall off turn 2 again. Well, Bonnie tried to go to the outside, and that only allowed Robbie Gordon to get around him for position. Bonnie got to get underneath Jimmy Johnson. Johnson lets his teammate go. Jimmy tight. Off turn 2 into the wall, trying to hold the outside. Robbie Gordon was under him as well. Generated driver right behind him now. Jimmy shot the gap a little too much. Barely kept it off the wall that time. Joe Nemechek gets around the 0-1. 184 to the outside. Jimmy Johnson is having a handful with this race car, and it's just that point in the run. When do you decide to pit if you're Johnson? Sterling Marlin trying to make a pass as well. And does. There's Jeff Gordon, the eventual second place driver. Gonna get around Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy sends it into 3 and 4, back underneath Gordon again. It's one driver he doesn't want to just let go. Get away here, and Jimmy's definitely doing what he can to stay with him. Johnson on the inside off turn 2. Gordon's kind of having his way with the lap car of Marlin right in front of him as well. And Johnson again to the inside of Gordon into turns 3 and 4. Jimmy's doing a great job not overdriving this race car. Just trying to keep up with Jeff Gordon despite being on very old tires. He's definitely sliding around pretty good. Like right there off turn 2. Lost a lot of ground into 3 and 4, and now he's up in the wall there, and he can't get off of it. He's definitely going to repair some more damage on pit road. That's a pretty obvious statement. Oh, contact with Wimmer. Jimmy cut down right in front of him in the center of the corner. That was a bad spot. Like Wimmer might have made contact with the lap car to the outside as well off of turn 4. Contact might have had something to do with it. We stay green. Kyle Petty's coming to pit road right now. So Petty coming onto pit road. That will cycle Jeff Gordon to second place. Gordon's the only other driver on the lead lap right now with Jimmy Johnson, the race leader, and he still has to pit under green. Very low on fuel. I don't think he's going to be able to go much further in this tank. Not a lot of pressure behind him again, but if it becomes the case where he's going to have more cars, more pressure, might as well pit then instead of just giving up the spots. If you're going to give up, you might as well come to pit road. Here's to see what the strategy plays out for not only Johnson, but even Kyle Petty as well. What the strategy will do. It's likely still a 3-stop race to the end. So loose off 4. Stays in it. Matt Kenseth right behind him. Kenseth is in 3rd. Johnson trying to stay on the inside. Kenseth to the top. Into turns 3 and 4. Johnson not making it easy for him. Tony Stewart right there as well. Kenseth still on the outside of Jimmy Johnson. Wow, look at how much Johnson slides into turn 1. Tony Stewart going to get under him, and Jimmy lets Stewart go. Johnson's going to pit this time at lap 167. Dale Jr. all over his back bumper now, but Jimmy Johnson will be coming into the pits. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel, a wedge adjustment here for Jimmy Johnson. He's going to take 1 turn all the way around to help tighten that race car up. And Jeff Gordon should cycle as the race leader by at least a few seconds over Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart. Yo mama, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Johnson definitely lost a lot of ground with this strategy. He was able to lead more laps. Now Jeff Gordon's out in front. And now Jimmy Johnson's got the freshest tires in the field in the 19th position and about 18.5 seconds off the lead. So now the rules are reversed and Johnson's got about 30 lap fresher tires once again. 25 to 30 laps at least. He actually came out around no traffic as well, so that's going to help. But obviously still a lot of cars to pass in between him and his teammate, the race leader, Jeff Gordon. You just see how much more grip the 48 car's got now. I've got plans for later tonight, that's why. I always do the streams before the actual cup race, typically, anyway. Instead of later, I gotta make the post-race analysis video and stuff like that. I had plans tonight as well, so... Johnson sends it to get around Biffle. 4 position. I guess he can have a much easier time just trying to send it under these guys to make passes for position now that he's got fresher tires again. Remember, he did tighten that race car up as well. 1 round of wedge. Not so much going to help him on the short run, but maybe it'll stabilize the car on the long run when the tires start to wear, which is what he's hoping for. He was definitely fishtailing quite a bit at that time. Trying the outside on Rusty Wallace. Didn't work in 3 and 4. Blocked McMurray down the front stretch. And Wallace trying to block Johnson down the front stretch as well. Barely underneath Wallace. Almost contact there. Rusty was definitely racing him hard. Dale Jarrett in 13th, next driver for position. Ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson deep into turns 1 and 2 to get around him. Clears him easily. Ever seen marble racing? No. A couple lap cars made contact getting into turn 1. Ronnie Reynolds in the 151 generated driver. I believe the 142 car, another generated driver right in front of him. The driver's suit got together. Neither one of those two are on the lead lap. I don't think you're going to see as much success out of the generated drivers in this series compared to the truck or the Busch series. Oh, Jimmy almost in the wall. Blown engine on the inside of the racetrack. Couldn't tell who it was. Didn't see anybody blow an engine prior to this point. And again, this is the longest green flag run of the race so far. Almost 100 laps. 2 laps away from it being a 100-lap green flag run. Did go just over 100 laps into a green flag run to end the Busch race on Thursday night. And still had a fantastic race and a fantastic finish. That was a dangerous spot for there to be contact with a 48 and the 25. Johnson just continues to try sending it in. Trying to make up time with these fresh tires. Hopes to get around Gordon before Gordon has to come to pit road again, because if he can't do that, then this strategy definitely is going to pan out, and then he'll probably just from that point have to go right back on the same strategy as the leaders, so he doesn't keep losing time and risk going a lap down. Or he can keep trying it and hope for a caution, but it's definitely riskier. Oh, there's some contact with Kyle Petty off turn 4. Johnson came down right into his right rear, thought he was clear and was not. That was a hard hit into the outside wall for Petty, but we do stay green. Yikes. Yeah, there's definitely some weird things you can find on YouTube. Marble racing, no, I've never heard of it. Well, I mean, I can imagine what it is, but I can't say I've seen it before. Burt and Bobby Labonte side by side. I don't know if Ward's a lap down or not. Back up turns 3 and 4. Tried to shoot the gap, but he shot it a little too early. Labonte 4 position. Ward Burton is not for position, so Ward is a lap down. This long green flag run going on, over 100 laps into this green flag run as we are right around halfway. I might have to look it up now. Wow, already pit stops are going on. Ooh, Johnson right in the back of Ricky Craven. I'm very surprised we have drivers pitting this early into the run. Not sure if that's scheduled or not. And if it is, I think that's because the window's open to make it on 2 stops to the end from now. But Johnson does not want to pit this early. He just came off of pit road, so he gave up a lot of time, and he's still 13 seconds off the lead. Getting a little desperate. Johnson very lenient with the cars running side by side right in front of him, and that allows Mark Martin to cling on the outside. Johnson around him for 9th. Very close for contact there. Scott Wimmer not giving him any room. Johnson gets around him anyway, though. Jimmy just powering through these drivers on older tires. 3 wide into turn 1. Kurt Busch in the middle. And again, Jimmy just kind of backs out of the gas, not looking to make the pass on him there. Not trying to risk heavy contact and risk perhaps damaging the car even more. Not that he has a ton of damage on it, but still has a little bit. It's only going to help with the speed of the car over the course of the race as well. Now he'll get around Kurt Busch the following lap into turn 1 for 8th. Can alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. We are just about halfway home. We'll have 200 laps to go next time by. There's that damage you see on the front of Johnson's car. You can tell he's been short track racing here this afternoon. Very close to contact with Newman. Guess you could say Newman's being Newman right now. Jimmy to the inside. Off turn 2, but Ryan Newman going to pull down and block him down the backstretch. Jimmy got out of it a little early, trying the outside again through 3 and 4. And in the wall. Overdriving it on the top side. Johnson just absolutely cannot get around Ryan Newman. Now he gets to the inside. Drives it deep into 1 and 2. This time he's on the bottom instead of the outside of Newman. This might work out a lot better. It's tough to hang the outside at Rockingham. And Newman did not give him any room. There's contact off turn 2. Man, what is it going to take for Johnson to get around Ryan Newman? Another lap car kind of holding both these guys up. Newman tries to block Johnson, and he blocks him into the wall. And around goes Newman. Caution is out again. What was Ryan Newman thinking there? He was not clear when he tried to block Johnson on the outside. Heavy damage to the right front of Jimmy's car, and he's going to have to come to pit road. Ryan Newman obviously was not clear of Jimmy Johnson, and he was blocking for a while, but obviously in that instance, Johnson was on his outside trying to get around him there again, and Ryan Newman just turned up the track, and once they got hooked, they couldn't get off each other. Both drivers in the wall. Pretty heavy damage to both. Johnson had to come to pit road to repair his end. Green flag back in the air. Surprised nobody else came to pit road under the caution. That was our 5th caution of the race today. Just over 200 laps complete at the Rock. A little contact, middle of the pack, 3 wide towards the back. Remember, double file restart towards the front of the field. Jimmy got really loose into turn 1. Almost slid up into Terry Labonte. Labonte still on his outside. Johnson hard into turns 3 and 4. Trying to get around him and clear him there. Johnson trying to take advantage with the fresh tires after Newman put him in the wall, bringing out the last caution. Newman basically turned himself, but obviously there was contact with the 48. Then trying to block, and Tony Stewart is going to get to the lead on the restart. I believe these are the first laps Tony Stewart has been able to lead today. Casimir slightly got in the wall off turn 2. A real breakaway of traffic, at least. Ooh, Rusty Walls got really loose into turn 1. They're just bouncing off each other in the middle of the pack. Johnson is charging through this pack quicker than what he ever has up to this point so far today. In 13th, battling Greg Biffle for position. For 12th, he's got it. Some of these lap cars obviously holding up the lead lap cars as well. Johnson's got fresher tires after that last caution with Ryan Newman. Go back to the far chase cam for now. Next NASCAR game will be NASCAR 21. I don't think we know the title yet. It'll probably be something like that. NASCAR 2021 or something. So Jeff Gordon, who was one of the leaders, comes to pit road. So some of the leaders are starting to pit right now. So this has to be a lot closer to that window on a two-stop race to the finish, and that is probably why they all pit. So here's the choice. Does Johnson try to lead? Oh boy, chain reaction event there. 48 into the 43, who slid into the 31. At least it was minimal contact. They all drive through it, and of course staying green here at the Rock. Be a little different circumstance with these guys only having about 10 lap pressure tires on Johnson versus about 30 to 40 laps. So Jimmy's going to try this off strategy plan again. Tried it earlier, didn't work, but this is a little bit different, similar but different as far as the amount of laps run in between the two different varying strategies. 3 wide into turn 1 for Johnson to get around Harvick and Newman. Johnson was already inside of Newman. Harvick tried to go up the middle and didn't quite work, and allows Johnson to clear both drivers. Johnson hard into 3 and 4 underneath Dale Jr. and around him for second, trying to run down Matt Kenseth. Harvick trying to follow Johnson. Harvick looks slow underneath Dale Jr. for third. Again, some of the leaders have pit. A lot of the field is on pit road as we speak. The guy leading this race is the guy that actually won this race in 2004. Again, the final race at Rockingham in the NASCAR, at the time, Nextel Cup Series. Kenseth coming to pit into 3. That was probably why Kenseth was checking up so he can cut his way onto pit road. So we got a 2-stop race to the finish for everybody. Johnson's going to let this run play out for now. Who knows, maybe we get another yellow. We had 5 in the Daytona 500, 5 already today at Rockingham as we are just past the halfway point. We get another one. Set our early season record. Again, this is only the second race. Jr. was one of the last drivers to pit the last time around, and that's the same again right here. He's just going to try to take this run as far as he can. This time, though, I believe Jimmie Johnson was the only driver to pit under that last caution. I don't think it was like what we saw earlier when Petty also went down with him. I think everybody everybody stayed out outside of Jimmie. Jimmie had a lot of damage on his right front, so that was the main reason for him pitting. Just hanging in there. Jimmy only has about 10 lap fresher tires than Dale Jr. right now. Jr. to the outside. A little contact as Johnson pinches him off. Now slides into turn 3. Dale Jr. trying to stay high in 3 and 4. See if he does it in 1 and 2 again, trying to get another run. Nope, he goes right back down to the bottom behind Johnson following his line. Dale Jr. coming to pit road that time. I'm going to have to pause it for a quick moment down the back straightaway as well so I can set my thumbnail for the predictions video that will upload any minute now. Lap 227 of 393 at Rockingham. Sorry for this. Give me 1 second. I don't know why, but I don't know if it has to do with how I'm editing the prediction and post-race analysis videos, but man, they take forever to upload compared to other videos. All right, we are good to go. Back to the action. Sorry for that again. I made sure I paused on a straightaway, though, so didn't have to risk wrecking going into turn 3. Johnson's got some pretty heavy lap traffic right in front of him. These guys being on slightly fresher tires, it will be a little difficult. He's got a 1-lap lead on the field, and again, it's because Johnson pitted under caution. Everybody else stayed out, but that also means Jimmy will have to pit no matter what before the rest of the field this time. It's another opportunity for Johnson to lead more laps. This is the 3rd different time he has led today. Lap car just cracked the wall off turn 2, the 143 right behind Johnson. The 33 car looked like he was bottoming out there. It's amazing how good Johnson is in turns 3 and 4. I mean, he can really back the corners up, and even if he doesn't back the corners up, he can drive it in a lot deeper. And he's usually got the grip, especially in the first half of the run. That time he had too big of a run into 3 and 4. Bumped the 142 car out of the way. Here causing the 151 to push tight into the wall off turn 2. As soon as Johnson put him another lap down, 3 wide off of turn 4. I think you could say Jimmy's kind of pushing the issue. Ricky Craven going to go another lap down. He couldn't clear him off turn 2 there, giving Craven a little bit of room. Backs up turns 3 and 4 and beats Craven back to the gas. Ricky stuck on the outside. The 151's going to get under him as well. So Jimmy Johnson leads here today at Rockingham. Slide into turn 1. The predictions video should be up on the channel now. Again, join the Fantasy League if you haven't already. Every week you get an opportunity to win in the league. And if you win that week, you will be on the following week's predictions video. Patrick Shadley was our Daytona 500 winner. Yeah, marble winter game. The crazy things you can find on the internet. Tim, have you just discovered a national treasure? A long-lost national treasure of marble racing in the Marble Winter Games. Ooh, Brian Vickers on the inside of the racetrack has just blown an engine as he tries to limp his way to pit road. Oh, well, a couple of the Chevys running very well today. Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have led a lot of laps each. Maybe a little cause for concern. Brian Vickers was having a good day too. Last we saw him, he was inside the top 10 on that last restart. So a tough break there for Vickers for sure. He was having a good day going for the rookie as he battles another tough rookie contender of Casey Kane coming into this season. And Casey's having a good day himself. Oh! 172 tried to chop down on the 48, and the race leader of Johnson, they made contact. You saw how loose Jimmy got after the initial contact. Johnson probably should have tried the outside, and Jimmy is in the wall off of turn 4, ricocheting off the 172 car to his inside once again. And that was a lot of time lost compared to how big of a lead Jimmy had before that contact. Probably wore his tires out a little bit more as well. Lap 250 at the line now for Johnson. It's unique. Yeah, it sounds unique. Jimmy's tried to run the outside a few times today, and it just hasn't worked. That was a huge, huge effect of it. Again, Johnson's only got a one-lap lead because he pitted under that last caution, and everybody else pitted about 10 to 15 laps after the caution. I should say the green flew for the restart. So you wonder if Johnson is about 10 to 15 laps short on fuel, making this a one-stop race to the finish. Is it still a 2 pit stop race for Jimmy Johnson? Everybody else already pitting once. We know that they can make it on one stop for sure. Jimmy's just hit halfway out of gas a handful of laps ago. We have less than 150 laps left in the race, actually 140 this time by. Rocky Perry in the 143 car will be the next driver Johnson's going to catch and try to put another lap down. Hopefully he has better success with him. Well, he knows he's not going to be able to go to the outside again, that's for sure. Slip the tires getting into turn 1 a little bit. Again, we're at that point in the run as well where the tires are wearing out more and more. Johnson did make a wedge adjustment, not on the last stop, but the stop before that under green. We put about a round of wedge in the race car to help tighten it up for the longer run. So maybe that will help him not get as loose compared to where he was in the first 100 to 150 laps of the race on a long run and on older tires. Hopefully it doesn't get too tight. it was pretty extremely loose by the end of the run. So he's trying to help it out. That 109 car in this game almost looks like the 09, the way the number font is on some of those James Finch cars back in the late 2000s and early 2010s. It's kind of like the one that Brad Keselowski drove his first couple starts in the Cup Series. Just the number font itself. Only it's a Dodge and not a Chevy, I guess, too, but again, just the number font. Kind of has that look to it. I don't know if that's what the game was intending to do. I mean, they might have been. A little too high in 1 or 2. Yeah, he really can't get around Rocky Perry to save his life right now. Doesn't want to be overly aggressive with it, but at the same time, there's a little bump off of turn 4, trying to loosen him up and maybe get under him. But again, Rocky Perry going to throw the block. Bump and run did not work that time. Now Johnson tries to back up turns 1 and 2. And he still can't get back underneath Rocky Perry. Elliott Sadler's closed that gap. I wonder if Sadler's actually the second place driver. And Johnson's probably going to try to hold him up just in case. Saw Sadler had a fast car, was in the top 5 at one point earlier. Sadler had a pretty decent run in the Daytona 500 last Sunday as well. On the channel at least for NASCAR 05. That was a massive run by Johnson. Oh, a little block on Rocky Perry down the backstretch. Perry tried to cross him over. It's obvious Johnson was faster there for a while, but Perry was holding him up. Johnson saying, no, you are not going to get back under me again. Kind of held up Elliott Sadler, too, after the contact, so Sadler's going to have to try and run down Johnson again. Now Kyle Petty's holding up Jimmy Johnson. It's not one lap car, it's the next, it seems like, and Jimmy can't catch a break right now. It's Sadler again all over his back bumper, and I believe Sadler is in second. You know, Matt Kenseth was actually leading before pit stop started the last time. And see, Matt Kenseth is right behind him. Jimmy got really loose off 4 that time, stayed in the gas though. And again, Johnson has about 10 older tires. Sadler looks high. That might open up the door on the bottom for Kenseth to get underneath him, and it does. Johnson sends it. Finally going to get underneath Kyle Petty. And meanwhile, Matt Kenseth has just cleared Elliott Sadler for second place off turn 4. Quarter of a tank of gas left for Johnson again. On this run, his car is almost 10 times more stable than what it was earlier when he had a very loose race car. So I think Jimmy has hit on the setup mid-race. It's a very narrow pit road entrance here at Rockingham. He didn't have problems with it the first time. He probably could have pushed the car a little harder, actually, to get to pit road. So he'll probably try to do it this time. And Jimmy really loose off turn 2. Tried to stay in the gas as long as he could. He had to let off midway down the backstretch, and Sadler almost got underneath him because of it. Johnson just desperately trying to hang on with this pit strategy. I'll tell you one thing, this pit strategy is likely going to lead him the most laps in the race. I don't think it's going to be like when Dale Jr. beat him by 1 lap in the 500 as far as the most laps led. So the lead, Jeff Gordon has led the second most laps so far today. But I don't think he's anywhere close to how many laps Johnson's ran. And now Sadler looks high into turns 1 and 2. And again, Johnson pulls clear. So after Kenseth got around Sadler a couple laps ago, Sadler got him back, and now Elliott Sadler bounces off the wall. Off turn 2, and Matt Kenseth is all over Sadler's back bumper once again. It's like Kevin Harvick is starting to grow into the picture back in 4th place as well. I wonder where Jeff Gordon's gone. Over the course of this run, he is nowhere to be found, at least these other drivers are. Inside the top 5. Johnson low. 3 wide into turn 1. Underneath one of the generated rookie drivers in the 149, as well as Robbie Gordon on the outside. And Gordon got stuffed in the wall by the 139 car. Sadler drives it in deep. Remember, he brought out a caution earlier trying to battle for the lead over driving turn 3. Very early in the race trying to get around Johnson, though this time it's not a battle for the lead. It's him trying to get his lap back. Harvick got around Matt Kenseth, meanwhile, for 3rd, and Harvick is all over the back bumper of Sadler. Jimmy going way wide off turn 2, trying to hold Sadler behind him. Harvick sends it underneath Sadler into 3, and Harvick will take over 2nd place. Johnson definitely trying to block Harvick. Harvick goes a little wide into turns 1 and 2, and I thought Sadler was going to get him back, but he didn't. Again, Jimmy trying to take this run as far as he can. Can he make it on one more pit stop? Everybody else has to pit once. Or will it be a 2-stop race for Jimmy Johnson to the end? We'll have 110 laps to go this time by. Sadler got around Harvick. Heavy lap traffic coming up right in front of Jimmy Johnson. Scott Riggs, remember back, and he qualified second for this race today, but boy, Riggs has really fallen throughout the course of this one. Very low on fuel for Johnson, but he could still probably go a little bit longer. I'd imagine he doesn't have to pit until at least under 100 laps to go. We went green at lap 202 from that last caution. So that is the run we're looking at with Jimmy Johnson right now. It could be a fuel mileage race today for sure. That's why he's trying to hold Harvick, Sadler, and them guys back on these older tires, and he's done a great job of it. You saw earlier when he was looser in the first half of the race before that adjustment. If he had that kind of a handling car, those guys would be long gone. He'd probably only have about a 15 or 16 second lead, but he's still got a one-lap lead because of it. Mark Martin going to fall another lap down. Mark has not performed well here today at all. Compared to our NASCAR Thunder 04 season where he's battling for the championship lead with a couple races to go still. And there's a little contact between the 6 and the 48 getting into turn 3 that time. Sadler gets right underneath the 6 as well as Harvick. Johnson's 29. Though, the only chance anybody's really got is in turns 1 and 2, and that could help Johnson extremely if it comes down to the end of the race. So that time by, with this strategy, it has at least helped Johnson clinch the most laps led today. And it could win him the race depending on if things keep going the way they're going now. Matt Kenseth, out of nowhere seemingly, has gotten back around Harvick and Sadler for second. Lap 290 now for Jimmy Johnson. Still got 3 more lap cars right in front of him. Terry Labonte, his teammate, is one of them. Johnson gets underneath of Labonte, but Terry got a little bit better drive down the back. Into turn 3, Labonte pulls low right in front of his teammate Johnson. Johnson, though, in the center of the corner, gets underneath Labonte. .291, fuel tank almost empty. Johnson can go maybe a little bit longer, but it's not going to be much. And he'll have to pit. Kenseth trying to drive it in deep into turn 3. Not going to get to the lead there. Lap 292 this time. So there you go. 90 laps Jimmy Johnson has been able to go on fuel. And Jimmy is going to pit this time. So Jimmy Johnson going to pit this time. A 90-lap fuel and tire stint. He'll likely give up the race lead. He's going to try to send it a little bit harder on the pit road this time than what he did last time. And it worked out. 4 tire stop, no adjustments, full tank of fuel. And I don't think Jimmy Johnson will be able to make it the rest of this way on this stop alone. He'll likely have to pit again. He has clinched the most laps led with this strategy call, but is it going to be the strategy that will win him the race? We'll find out in about 100 laps. Still going to have a fast stop. No mistakes so far. And it was a pretty fast stop, about a 17.1 second pit stop that time for Jimmy Johnson as the battle continues on the racetrack. Jimmy will cycle off of pit road outside the top 10. And Kevin Harvick is the new leader here at Rockingham. He won the Busch Series race on Thursday night. Can he win here on Sunday afternoon for the Cup race? Jamie McMurray on the pit road. Some of these other drivers starting to pit. 99 laps to go. Harvick's got fresher tires by quite a bit now, too. So he'll try to cut into that gap. He's 13.5 seconds off the race lead. Johnson going 90 laps on that last run. He's trying the outside through 1 and 2. That hasn't worked out for him so far today. And it's not going to work there either. Contact with the generated driver of Randy Norton. Johnson still high. Off turn 4. Blocking Norton now down the front stretch and clearing him. That definitely cost him a little bit of time as he's trying to run down Harvick and the rest of the field ahead. A lot of drivers on pit road. Man, are they going to be able to make it that far? They started pitting with about 97, 98 laps to go. I really don't know. Johnson looks really, really fast on these fresh tires, though. Definitely trying to take advantage. So he's already clinched the most laps led. So now he is really just trying to race for the win. But what strategy is going to win him this race? I don't think it's going to be this one. Will we get another caution before the end? That's also possible. We've had 5 total today, and we had 5 in the Daytona 500 last Sunday. I think once Kevin Harvick pits, Johnson has to pit. I don't think he's got a choice. We will have to wait until they get maybe a couple laps beyond 90 to go, just to be safe, because that's how far, again, Johnson went on the last run. Lap 300 here today at Rockingham. The final ever race at Rockingham. What will be the closing chapter? Dale Jr. leads, but he has not hit pit road yet either. Harvick actually just hit pit road as well. That last lap, and I believe that is why Jr. is now in the lead. But they're just north of just north of 90 laps to go. So Johnson can't pit yet. He does not want to. But now, does he pit for tires? There's Harvick just exiting pit road. Does Johnson pit for any sort of tires at all when he does come to pit road? I think the answer there is no. I think for Jimmy Johnson to play the safe bet right now, pitting at lap 313 is probably going to be more ideal. That'll get him about 10 laps to the good on fuel. Can't go to overtime in this time period of NASCAR. I believe we can have one green-white checker attempt, but that's it. I think. So I guess we could run past the scheduled distance, but 10 laps will be plenty good enough to make it. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Yep, Chase for 8 series is back, but with NASCAR 2005. He was the fan-voted driver for me to race on this season of NASCAR 05. And Dale Jr. still hasn't pit yet either. He stayed out the longest. He's definitely trying to make sure he makes it on fuel. We have just less than 90 to go right now. Currently 88 laps left. So that pit window is definitely open now. We've seen some guys pit. Johnson's got to check up. Rusty Wallace came off of pit road. And already Johnson was side by side with Petty. There was no way to get around it there. Ooh, contact with Rusty Wallace. Johnson's in the wall. I think Rusty barely kept it off the wall. More time lost though for the 48 team. Junior still hasn't pit. Kyle Petty just got into the 184. And these lap cars are definitely holding Jimmy Johnson up right now. 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. Johnson makes the move. Ryan Newman, he's coming to pit road. Dale Jr.'s on pit road now. Lead change at the line. Jimmy Johnson back out in front with 85 laps left. And honestly, I think that means Johnson's going to have to pit this time. He wanted to take it a little longer, but even 5 laps to the good on fuel should be good enough to the finish. So Jimmy will pit. It'll be a 4-tire stop. Has to make sure he doesn't speed and does not. So he's not going to give up that tire advantage to the end. It'll be a 4-tire stop for Jimmy Johnson. Full tank of fuel. It'll repair any damage left on the race car. Yeah, we had a lot of votes for Jimmy, too. It was really kind of one-sided. It was really close between Harvick or Dale Jr. for the Busch Series. I think we had like a tiebreaker. It was like 6-5 or something like that. So here's Johnson cycling off of pit road, and we'll see if he can gain this time. Now, he does have about 10 to 15 lap fresher tires than Kevin Harvick and the rest of the drivers ahead of him, except for maybe Dale Jr. Jr. only pitted 1 lap shy. So I guess Johnson, Dale Jr., and Ryan Newman have the freshest tires in the field and trying to make this run to the finish. And everybody else that pitted before him is going to be extremely close on fuel, but those 3 should be about 4 or 5 laps to the good. It will be a fuel mileage race for the likes of Kevin Harvick, Elliott Sadler, Jeff Gordon, who are all towards the front of the field. Oh boy, Johnson into the back of Green. Every little bit of contact is costing Johnson so much time. 10 lap fresher tires and this many laps to go. You would have to think he's going to be there by the end. There is no give or take now. You got to push to the end. That was the final pit stop of the race. Unless we get a caution, the guys start to come to pit road. So we currently have 81 laps to go. Yes, good luck on the Fantasy League as well for you, Tyler. Ace, if you're playing as well, good luck. And again, we will be doing a live realistic broadcast of the actual Cup race today on the channel. We'll be streaming it live on KRC. We'll be doing a realistic broadcast, and it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be the first time ever. I know we tested it out for the truck race, but we didn't do it for the full race the other night. We'll be doing it for the full Cup race today, and I hope to do it every week. If not for the Cup race, again, for some sort of a NASCAR race, Truck Xfinity or a Cup every week. Ooh, boy, Johnson into Kurt Busch. A little too wide getting into turn 1 for Johnson. And again, with all this lap traffic, he is just not able to close on Kevin Harvick right now. Maybe 0.3 of a second over the last 5 or 6 laps combined. He's going to have to pick up that pace a little bit with how quick these laps are. This field has been very competitive today. We saw that in the Busch race. We've seen it here, almost a carbon copy of the Busch race, where all the cautions came early, and a lot of green flag racing in the second half of today's race. I think 5 is that lucky number. We had 5 cautions in the Busch race at Rockingham, and we had 5 cautions in our Daytona 500 last week as well, and we've had 5 so far today. We did have 4 in the truck race at Atlanta, but that's only 200 miles. I guess it was only 200 miles for the Busch race too, but still. Ryan Newman's likely going to try to block here. Now, he's got equal tires as Johnson, and Johnson closed up on him pretty quickly. Newman might be mad enough to take a swing at Jimmy as well. So Jimmy's going to have to be careful. Oh, a little bump to the back of the 12. That might not have been the way to do it. Underneath Ryan Newman. Is Newman going to take a swing at Johnson? I'm surprised he didn't, especially after Jimmy moving him out of the way off 4. But Johnson is a man on a mission trying to run down the leaders, and Newman's in the wall off turn 2. Newman gets tight. He punctures the wall. Johnson trying to go. Bobby Labonte for 7th, just ahead as well. Jimmy's so good in 3 and 4. Oh! Little bump. Johnson is being very, very aggressive. It's about 8 seconds off the lead. He's got to be careful so that aggressiveness doesn't come back to bite him, though. We are late in this race, but we still do have time. Again, Jimmy's got 10 to 15 lap fresher tires. We don't even know if Harvick can make it on gas to the end. Nor a majority of the leaders. Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, they're good on fuel to the finish. Everybody else, though, as far as the leaders go, and that are running inside the top 10, I'm not entirely sure. They pitted about 10 laps before those guys. And Johnson was only able to go 90 laps on a green flag run earlier today. Or I should say a full fuel run. From lap 202 to lap 392. Jimmy did just pit sense. Topping off to make sure he can make it, and he took tires as well. He thought about not taking tires at all, but then he would have had about 10 to 15 lap older tires than Harvick, and then he would have had about 30 lap older tires than guys like Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman. Jr. looks like he had a pretty fast stop. I believe he's in the top 5 right now. So Dale Jr. might have a good shot to win this thing too. He looked fast. He led a lot of laps early as well. Almost won the Busch race on Thursday night. So close, finishing 2nd in the Daytona 500 and 2nd in the Busch race at Daytona. And there you see Johnson running down Jr. Now Jr. is actually in 6th place. Got his teammate Michael Waltrip right behind him, but Mikey is a lap down. I don't even know how to do the fantasy stuff. Yeah, you basically just kind of pick. You pick 5 drivers for your starting lineup and 1 driver for, like, I guess if it's another fantasy sport, it'd be like your bench. But because it's NASCAR, it's called a garage driver. But so you have 6 drivers, and you have until the end of stage 2 to swap a guy out. So say like one of your 6 drivers crashes out, you can put them in the garage because you're only getting scored for your top 5, your 5 starters. And then you pick like bonus points, like who you think's going to win the race, what manufacturer is going to win, which race team like Hendrick, Penske, whatever is going to be the winner of the race. So you got bonus points like that. Top Chevy finisher, top Ford finisher. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Once you get a couple weeks in, you can pretty much get a good feel for how to do it. And you can only start up to the same driver 10 times over the course of the whole season. So like you can't have Chase Elliott on your team more than 10 weeks out of the year. So it makes it very, very tough to try and figure out who you're going to use and who you're not going to use on a weekly basis. Johnson and Jr. both get around Jeff Gordon. Jimmy looks to be faster than Dale Jr. right now as well, despite both being on equal tires. Johnson looking high in turns 3 and 4. Definitely didn't work. Jr. pulled him a little bit there, but Jr. is not going to make this easy for Jimmy Johnson. They're about 5.5 seconds off the lead. Jimmy almost overcooked it into the corner. Dale Jr. gets tight as well. Junior almost got into the wall off turn 2. He's up in the marbles. Johnson hard into 3 and 4. That's where he's been best all day. And he is side by side, trying to take 5th away from Dale Jr. And he's got it. Just over 5 seconds off the lead for these two as they try to hunt down the leaders. Johnson's barely pulling away from Junior, but not by much. I think Dale's going to try to cling on as much as he can to the end of this race. Johnson's gaining a lot of time, a lot quicker than what I thought he was going to be able to gain it. It's a good thing he pitted when he did, because otherwise he could have been like 20 seconds off the lead with less laps left, but even fresher tires. So it's good that he pitted when he did, and again, he is about 5 laps to the good on fuel in this race as well. Robbie Gordon, plenty of room to Johnson. Elliott Sadler's in 4th place, having a great run. There is Sadler, not too far ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Tony Stewart in 3rd. Johnson closed in a ton into turn 1. Oh, Jimmy into the back of Sadler. Side by side into turn 1 now. Jimmy not wasting any time at all, taking the 4th spot from Elliott Sadler. Charging after Tony Stewart, now about 3 seconds off the race lead. Johnson's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. How much deeper Johnson can drive it in with these fresher tires. And he's under Stewart. Into turns 3 and 4. Jimmy gets a little loose. Still clears Tony. What a drive by Jimmy Johnson as he tries to get his first win of the young season. I myself tried to go for at least the Rockingham sweep between the Busch and the Cup Series this week on NASCAR 05. So Johnson up to 3rd. Tony Stewart's not giving up, though. He might have to. Unwillingly, I should say. Gonna alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. About a 1.6 second lead for Harvick over the 3rd place car of Jimmy Johnson. Not sure who is in 2nd place currently. I believe it is Matt Kenseth. Could be wrong, but I believe it is Kenseth. Oh, contact with the 142. Very minor, at least for Johnson. 142 ended up in the wall in turns 1 and 2. Oh, Rusty Wallace slid up the track right in front of Jimmy Johnson off of turn 4. So Jimmy started to gain ground. He's struggling with the lap cars now. Once he gets around this pack of lap traffic, he'll start to close in on Harvick again. These tires are going to even out after some point in time. 15 laps. Probably take about 30 laps after the pit stops to do that. And if that's the case, we're only about 10 laps away from seeing these tires being evened out. So that is why Johnson's trying to push the car now while he does have the advantage. And he's now less than 1 second off the race lead from Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth is right behind Harvick, looking for the lead himself. Johnson just rolling around the inside in 3 and 4, passing not 1, not 2, but 3 lap cars all at once. Single file. And we've got a 3-car battle for the lead, and the 151 is really holding up Harvick off of turn 2. And Matt Kenseth all over Kevin looking for the lead. And we still don't know if Harvick and Kenseth are going to be good on fuel to the end of the race as well. Johnson on the hunt. Kenseth looking for the lead under Harvick. And Matt Kenseth off of turn 2 will clear Harvick for the lead. Johnson underneath Harvick for second. Couldn't get him there. Harvick trying to block. Jimmy back to the inside off turn 4. Again, trying to take advantage when the tires are at their more fresh. When did Kenseth hit pit road is another question. Maybe Kenseth might have pitted around the same time Johnson did. I thought he pitted before him at least. I thought he pitted right around the time where Harvick and the rest of the field did. That might not be the case. Johnson's going to have to find a way around him. It's a 2-horse race now. At least for the moment, that could change. Lap car's kind of getting in the way, not allowing Johnson to really make a move on Kenseth yet. Oh, that was a big run into 3 and 4. A little bump to get to the inside of Kenseth. Into turn 1, side by side for the lead. And Jimmy Johnson is clear of Matt Kenseth off turn 2. No, maybe not. Kenseth's still there. He's not giving up the fight. A little more contact. Matt Kenseth is holding strong on the outside. Jimmy again into 1 and 2. Will he clear him this time? Yes, he does. Barely. Johnson to the lead. Jimmy got a little loose. Harvick got tight. He goes up the track a little bit. Lead change at the start-finish line. Jimmy Johnson is back out in front with just 42 laps to go at the Rock. Now can he pull away from Matt Kenseth, or will Kenseth be right there waiting for the taking if Jimmy makes a mistake? Of course, these tires are going to wear out to the end. We're at about that point where the tires are even. And Kenseth back to the inside of Jimmy Johnson and takes the lead, but he wasn't clear when he tried to block him, and there's a little bit of contact again. Harvick is starting to close back in on these guys, but again, the tires are about evened out on these guys now. And again, Kenseth just holding strong on the outside. He is not going down without a fight. And I don't think there's a fresh tire advantage anymore, because that is why Harvick is closing in on these guys, despite the fact that they're battling back and forth. And again, a great crossover by Matt Kenseth. Jimmy can't make the move. Slight contact with Harvick off turn 4, allowing Kenseth to get away again. We'll go back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. As things are heating up with now less than 40 laps to go at Rockingham, where Matt Kenseth is trying to repeat history. He won this race back in 2004. And it is, and was at least, the final race at Rockingham for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. What a recreation of history this could be if he could pull it off. Now, he did have a photo finish win as well, though it was to Casey Kane and not one of these top drivers like Harvick or Johnson. Now those tires have evened out, though. Matt Kenseth is having a great run for himself. Jimmy trying the high side through 1 and 2. He's trying to get Kenseth out of his groove. Jimmy went high as well. And Matt. Right there, Jimmy again with a little bump. Gets him loose just enough to get underneath him. Johnson's been going aggressive. If Matt did pit with Harvick and the rest of the field there, can Matt Kenseth make it on fuel to the end? Don't forget, it is a fuel mileage race. Not for Johnson, though. He's about 5 laps to the good. But everybody else, on the other hand, I don't know. Can't say the same for him. Johnson, Dale Jr., Ryan Newman should be good to the end on fuel. But everybody else, not so much. It's going to be really close for him. Into 3 and 4. He's still up there. And actually leads the lap at the line. Johnson's got to be careful of that. If it was the last lap, Kenseth would have won the race right there. And Kenseth with another crossover. Johnson goes wide and scrapes the wall off 2. Great crossover by Kenseth. And now Jimmy going to try the top through 3 and 4. Hasn't really worked for him today. Not going to work there either. Hard into 1 and 2. Kind of locked the brakes up a little bit, but Jimmy really trying to hold the top, just like Matt Kenseth did. A couple more lap cars in the picture up ahead. Jimmy again, hard into 3 and 4. Contact with the 17. They both go up the track. Harvick closes in again. Harvick's nickname is the closer, after all. Usually thrives in these types of situations. Johnson's about 3 to 4 car lengths behind Kenseth now, but Matt is struggling with lap traffic, and look at how quickly that's going to allow Johnson to close back up off of turn 4. Jimmy, hard into 1. Got a good drive on the exit, but he can't quite clear the 149. That's going to allow Kenseth to gap him a little bit down the backstretch. -- 30 laps to go at the line that time for Kenseth. Again, that's a very good sign. Johnson was able to make that adjustment change mid-race. They're tightening the car up. Trying to get underneath Kenseth cleanly this time. And does, barely. And they're side by side into turn 1. Will Kenseth get a crossover again? Johnson's clear. Jimmy got really loose. Kenseth's going to drive it in deep. Oh, and he missed. Kenseth tried. Drove it in hard into turn 3. Now he's lost a little bit of ground again. Trying to run back down Jimmy Johnson. What a great couple races between the Busch race and this Cup Series race today at Rockingham this week on the channel. Johnson giving the outside to Kenseth. Again, late in the race, he can't do that. He's got to block every move. Kenseth's passed him on the outside once already, even with Johnson not making a mistake. Kenseth's just got a fast car. Here he goes again to the outside into 3 and 4. That 17 car is really strong. And again, Kenseth on the outside, trying to take the lead. He did not clear, and Johnson beats him into 1. Kenseth with the crossover, perhaps? No. Another block by Johnson off the exit of turn 2. Kenseth trying to get to the inside. Jimmy couldn't stick the bottom. But again, Kenseth could not get under there. Harvick waiting in the wings for these two to make a mistake. Drop of the green flag for the Cup race today is at about 3:20, I believe is what it was scheduled for. Last I saw, it was 3:20 for the drop of the green flag. So we'll get done with this race and we'll roll right into that one pretty soon after. So don't go anywhere because this is going to be a great finish. Kenseth in the wall in turns 1 and 2. He overdrove the corner again. Kenseth in the wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Johnson's got just over a half-second lead now. And trying to quickly get around the 144. Does not want this lap traffic to cost him. 23 laps to go. Oh, and contact! Johnson slid up the track right into the lap car. After pulling away from Kenseth, after Kenseth ended up in the wall. And Kenseth is quickly closed right back in with Johnson's minor mishap with the lap car. Harvick still only about a half a second off the lead. Don't count him out of it. Johnson again a little high in 1 and 2. Trying to block Kenseth. Kenseth might use the bumper. Jimmy hard into 3 and 4. Back to the inside of the 144. Needs to get around him cleanly. This time around. Backing up turn 1 a little bit more, and he does clear. 144. Kenseth to the inside of the 144 as well. Johnson trying to block Kenseth. Kenseth goes in hard. This time he might get there. He's underneath him. Johnson barely keeps it off the wall off turn 4. Matt Kenseth to the inside is going to take the race lead into turn 1. What a battle back and forth. Go the 17 and the 48 late. Kenseth, of course, the defending champion in 2003 in real life. Oh, and Jimmy gets into the back of him again. Lap car in the way, and that cost Johnson the chance at the bump and run to make the pass on Kenseth that time. What a run by Kenseth off turn 2. Johnson had to give it to him. Jimmy slides the tires into 3 and 4. Drifting right back underneath Kenseth again. Jimmy leads the lap by inches. The way these two are racing hard, I feel really confident about Harvick's chances. What a slide job by Johnson to get around him. We have less than 20 to go. Johnson also got into 3 and 4 a lot better than Kenseth that time. Yeah, coverage starts at 3, but the drop of the green flag's at 3:20 Eastern Standard Time today. So again, we will make the start of the race. Kenseth looking low. Johnson has to block him into 3. But Jimmy washes up the racetrack. Boy, Kenseth is not giving him a lot of room, trying to side draft him. Johnson leads at the line again, but Kenseth has the advantage into turn 1 and clear. Jimmy trying to get the drive off turn 2. Now he has a run into 3. Back to the inside of Kenseth. Slide job. Johnson clear. Back in the lead again. Harvick is right there, and some of the leaders are starting to pit. Again, this is a fuel mileage race for a majority of the field. Johnson's good on fuel to the end. Kenseth and Harvick, they might not make it. Harvick is burning a lot of fuel. Harvick might have been able to save with these guys going at it. Johnson's hoping they pit. It'll make his life easier. So what a battle it's been up until then. It is a 3-driver race to the finish. If Harvick and Kenseth can't make it on fuel, Johnson will likely get the win. Kenseth goes wide in 1 and 2, and Kevin Harvick is underneath him looking for second. Harvick trying to sweep the weekend by winning the Busch race on Thursday and trying to win this race here today. 13 to go at the line for Johnson. But Harvick is the new driver in second. Nicknamed the closer. Trying to close out the deal here late. He had a last lap pass for the win to win at Rockingham on Thursday night. Johnson went a little wide off turn 2. That definitely didn't help. $12 to go. Jimmy should be good to the end, and there's no reason he pitted there with 85 to go that he wouldn't be able to make it 5 laps shorter than what he made it on the last run. But now Kenseth and Harvick have been going back and forth for second. And this is making Johnson's life a little bit easier. Yes, he does have 2 cars to worry about instead of just 1 now, but if they just keep passing each other back and forth, Johnson should be able to hold on. Scott Wimmer's the next lap car right in front of Jimmy. Jimmy's not close enough to make a pass on him yet. Matt Kenseth out of fuel, or at least has to pit. 10 laps to go. And Kenseth and his chances of winning have gone out the window. Harvick pitted around the same time as Kenseth earlier. Will Harvick have to pit? Johnson, a little skatey. Harvick to the bottom. And Kevin Harvick is going to take the lead. With 9 laps to go, Harvick leads here at Rockingham. Wimmer still underneath the 48 of Johnson. But Wimmer had to check up with the lap cars coming off of pit road. But now, can Kevin Harvick make it on fuel to the end of the race? Johnson deep into 3 and 4. Look at how quickly he ran Harvick back down again. At the line, Johnson leads the lap. Oh, contact! Johnson to the lead. Forcing himself clear off of Harvick. Harvick trying to push hard. We saw Kenseth couldn't make it on field at the end. Will Harvick make it? As he tries to cross back to the inside of Johnson. Couldn't get him there. Billy Kramer, you tuned in at the right time. Thanks for hopping into the stream here late. Harvick just can't get into 3 and 4 as well as Johnson. Jimmy has been pretty good in 3 and 4 today. If Harvick's going to make a move, it's going to have to be through 1 and 2 to win this race. Johnson trying to protect the bottom. Slightly overdrives 1 and 2. He skidded the tires a little bit. Harvick might not make it on fuel to the end of the race, though. So it's good that Johnson has kept this pressure on. Again, we saw Kenseth run out of fuel. Or at least knew he was well short that he wasn't going to make it, so decided to pit earlier. So he pitted with 10 laps left. We have 5 laps to go. Johnson goes wide in 1 and 2. He overdrove the corner. He saw the wheel hop. And Harvick is underneath him again. Harvick to the lead. But he can't clear Johnson yet. Johnson trying to hang in there on the outside. There's contact! Jimmy's in the wall. Harvick barely kept it off the wall. Great save by Kevin Harvick as he holds on to the lead. Will that be the race, or can Johnson run him back down? And can Kevin Harvick make it on fuel? 3 laps to go at the line. Wow, Jimmy hard into turn 1. To the back bumper. This is not over yet. Couple Chevys going at it. Oh, wow, Johnson got really loose off turn 2. He lost a little bit of ground to Harvick, but he's so good in 3 and 4. He's going to gain that time back. Johnson again to the inside, off of turn 4. Can't clear Harvick. 2 laps to go. Johnson leads at the stripe. Side by side into 1 and 2. Harvick again trying to hang in. Johnson just cannot clear the 29. Harvick is going to try to extend it. Johnson slides the tires. Clear off 4. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Can Harvick make the last lap pass for the win? And does Kevin Harvick have enough fuel to get to the end? Lap car coming off of pit road in the 151. Harvick checks up behind him. Harvick might be out of gas. Harvick might be out of fuel. And Jimmy Johnson will make it. Harvick is out of gas on the final lap of the race. And Johnson will win at Rockingham. Harvick pushed it hard to the very end and ran out of fuel off of turn 2. And Jimmy Johnson is declared the winner. And Harvick pushed it. We knew he was going to be close. We saw Kenseth run out of gas. I was surprised at how much Harvick was actually able to save to the end, but he was just shy, putting the pressure off of Johnson in the final corner. It'll be interesting to see if Harvick was still able to hold on to second at the finish. Great win for Jimmy Johnson. And just a great race overall. Only 5 drivers finished on the lead lap. A very long green flag run to the end of the race of just over 180 green flag laps to the finish. 5 cautions total in today's race for 15 caution laps. 33 lead changes in this race. That is incredible. Margin of victory about 2 seconds from Jimmy Johnson. Harvick limped across the start-finish line in 3rd after running out of gas, trying to pass Johnson on the last lap. Jimmy led 198 laps. That was the most laps led today, so a max points day for him. And again, Dale Jr. 2nd, Kevin Harvick 3rd, Ryan Newman 4th. Johnson, by the way, also qualified on the pole. Kurt Busch rounds out the top 5. Matt Kenseth 6th. We saw him run out of gas. Again, a lot of those guys could not make it to the end. Tony Stewart finishes 7th. Elliott Sadler 8th. Jeff Burton 9th. And Jeff Gordon rounds out the top 10. We'll take a look at who all DNF'd in today's race. Didn't have a lot of DNFs. Joe Nemechek blew an engine. Casey Kane blew an engine. Brian Vickers blew an engine. Tough break for Kane and Vickers. They were in the top 10 early on before their engine failures. Casey Mears also blew an engine. And it looks like those were the only 4 DNFs. And here's Jimmy Johnson in victory lane, winning the Subway 400 at Rockingham. Just finished the national anthem. All right, yeah, we will get that stream underway here very, very shortly. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Check out the predictions video on the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you get your fantasy lineups in for a chance for you guys to tune in on next week's predictions video. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will see you guys here in a couple minutes. We'll start the full race live stream for the actual NASCAR Cup race today. I'll do a live commentary through there as kind of like a reaction / live watch along. But again, I'll do a realistic broadcast, so tune in for that one. I will see you guys in a little bit. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.